Okay, so straight through crew. This is, I think it's the third feature, right, from David Campion, who also wrote it. He produces the film as well, along with Chloe Van Harding. Mitch Bain took care of the score. Tom O'Keefe was on cinematography. All right, Joe Brashaw is down with the editing. Production design, we have Laura Palauco. Emily Prendergast is hair and makeup. We have got... Okay, that's everything on that front. Oh, hold on. I can actually double check. Oh, we have, I think some of the songs are from Skeleton King, Health Scare, Afterthought, Ademolo, Old Boy, Engorgement, Yogi on Tour, JMIE, and Planky. Okay. Yeah, so that is all of that. We have got VFX, Selena Sherlock, graphics, Corinne Middleton. Yeah, okay. So that is all the big stuff. Now our cast. Okay, so Aden is played by Charles Craddock. Jamie is... do we go Jamie? No, we should probably do Fran, right, who is Jamie's girlfriend, is played by Georgia Macleod. Then there is Jamie, who is Aiden's ex, played by Jessica Pearce. One of Jamie's best friends, Deanna, is played by Conchita Mbuyambo. There's Jingle, played by James Douglas. We have got Lisanne, right, played by Laura Hall. She's kind of seeing infatuated by Stephanie, played by Ella Dunlop. Who else do we have? Oh, there's their older friend Richie, played by Jason Rosato. We've got Wildy, played by Harry Barnett, their drug dealer. His girlfriend Rex, played by Chloe Van Harding. We have Tony, the old lady that Jingle hangs out with, played by Lynn Austin. And there's Macca, played by Laura Palauco. I think it's pronounced Macca. Maybe it's Mocha. I think it's Macca. So yeah, that's our cast, right? Who else do we have? Yeah, no, that's all of that. So, what is this film about, you may ask? Okay, so on Christmas Eve, Jamie returns to her hometown from London and is persuaded by friends to attend a village hall rave. Though excited, she's wary of encountering her old flame Aden, who will be there with his new girlfriend Fran. Meanwhile, Aden and his pals Richie and Jingle secure drugs for the night. At the rave, Jamie and Aden rekindle their romance, sparking a heated argument with Fran. In a drunken haze, Aden disappears and ends up in a precarious situation with local hippie Rex and her boyfriend Wildy. His friends must find him before dawn, leading to a night of wild chaos and heartfelt revelations. The film captures the essence of youth, friendship, and the deep bonds that tie them together. So, yes, that is the gist of Straight Through Crew. What else? Oh, actually, I do have a director's statement. Let me grab that. Yes, the statement reads, I hit my 30s and had one of those pre-midlife crisis moments. I lost my father, had a few panic attacks, and realized I hadn't made a film in a while. The world felt like a hellfire. So I started writing something comforting and close to my heart. The events in the film are drawn from my own experiences. I wanted to capture the energy of youth and hedonism, but inject it with a sadness I felt at the time. I always pitched the film as dazed and confused with ketamine. So, that is how David Campion sees the film. And yes, I think because, I think at one point they do say that they're 24, right? Which kind of would make sense with where they are and everything like that, right? Richie is 10 years older, so he's 34, which is always that interesting one, right? And yeah, Jamie, she left the small town and went to London, coming home to visit friends, right, who all stayed, but a few of them wished they had left, wishing for more in their lives. And they see her as the one that did it, right? Achieved. And so her life must be incredible. Now, you wonder, what has she posted, right? Because I think at one point, Deanna's like, oh, I saw your Instagram. And so, it's one of those things that people do, right? They put the highlights, right? Sometimes it's just straight fabrications, but no one ever wants to be like, yeah, things are rubbish, right? And sometimes when people do put things are rubbish, it's because it's all agenda, right? It's looking for, but you're great, and all of that shit. So we're in this kind of situation, and I think that does come through. You know what I mean? Like the fact that these people were reconnecting, that there is this kind of resentment, admiration, longing with some of them. So we have all of these things. And especially with Aden, that it's obvious that he's trying to escape, right? Trying to, submerge himself in enough noise so he doesn't have to actually think about where he is in life, right? So that's all there. It's like Jingle, you kind of feel doesn't necessarily wanting to be out all the time doing the things, which is why he's hanging with the old woman, right? At I forget what they call those clubs, but that's what he's doing, but he wants to be out. He still wants to kind of numb himself. And we have all of this, you know, the Fran situation. I think you do get the sense that she gets that it's kind of a one-way street, right? That Aden's a dick. But what else are you gonna do, you know? I think that's what Deanna says one point. Like, I don't think we get who she's dating, but it's like, she's just like, well, what else am I going to do? Like, who else am I going to be with in this place? Which is, it's sad. You know what I mean? So all of those things do bleed through, which is good, right? And I think you do get that, right? You definitely get that when one person has gone and everyone else stays behind. You know, I know, like, if I go back and see my parents, there's a lot of people that still live in the area. You know what I mean? And boom, if, like, for them, that's great. That's, you know, what they want. Me, I needed to be in a more diverse motherfucking spot. You know what I mean? But it's, you know what I mean, the things that drive you in life, right? And that's a big thing. So I think everything does ring true, and you do believe these situations, which is, you know, always an important part of storytelling. You know what I mean? I do think at times the dialogue doesn't quite work, right? And when I say it doesn't quite work, right, it's fine, but it doesn't necessarily always feel natural, right? It doesn't always feel like this is how, you know, friends interact, right? There's sometimes when people do something stupid, you just go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Or like, or how you would stop hanging around with certain people. Because I know, right? There were certain people that every time they came out, they just got so messed up. So you didn't always invite them out, right? Like, or if you knew that, you just wouldn't go, because it's just like, I know how this night is going to go. I'm not looking for, you know, craziness to be dragged into shit. And these people, as I said, they've hung around for each other for so long, right? You do feel there's a point where that would have happened. You know what I mean? So there is that. And I think there's always the issue with parties. You know what I mean? Like parties, raves, all of that kind of thing. Like when you go out to a club, right? That kind of scenario. A lot of times when it's being shown, there is never enough people in the spot, right? There's never enough people for you to believe this is a night out. And also, this is a night out where everyone is jumping around in the way everyone's jumping around. Because a lot of times when you go to spots and it's not full, right? There's not much of an atmosphere. People are standing around acting stush, right? That's the thing. So I think with this, there are like the club kind of scene. It's not that full, right? So you do have that, but you understand, right? They want to kind of give the impression of everyone's having a good time and this is what would be happening and all of that kind of thing. So it's one of those things that you kind of get, right? So you're like, and it's what so many people do. So you're just like, all right, we'll roll with that one. You know, we'll roll with that. It's I think it would have been interesting to explore a little bit like Aden's need for the whole ASMR meditation type of things. Like, I think you can make assumptions, right? But it would have been an interesting thing to explore, because I feel that is a big issue with like Aden's need to get fucked up, right? Because if you're getting so messy on such a regular basis where you are then defecating yourself, boy, you know what I mean? That's not good, right? You want to address that, because, hey, knowing, right, that someone does that all the time, you don't want to be around that person. You know what I mean? And I'm surprised Fran's even trying to mess with him, because it's just like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, if they're in the middle of a little thing and then he just loses his bowels, ooh, I mean, unless she's into that, I don't know. But hey, not great. Not great. You know what I mean? But this isn't, like, as I say, it's an interesting film because it does, it captures that. I think it does kind of capture that point in life, right? When I think you're getting to that stage where you kind of make that decision of which direction you are kind of going in, you know? Because it's just like you're no longer a kid, but like not everyone actually looks at you as an adult, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, okay, what am I going to do? What's my job going to be? Now, obviously, you can change all of that stuff, but there is that point when you're young where you go, you know what? This is the direction I'm going in. So I think this film kind of hits that crossroad phase. And this is where everyone's at, and we're seeing what happens next. So, yeah. I think if you enjoy films like Human Traffic, right, Dazed and Confused, all of that kind of jam, then Straight Through Crew could be your thing. It is out on all your favorite VODs. The links obviously will be on the website, people. So yeah, Straight Through Crew.